You guys can see at the top, that is what was broadcasted and actually played during the intro. And at the bottom, you can kind of like see the resemblance, right? Some people say that it was disrespectful to the Christians, and other folks just said people are just overreacting.
Man, is that a child in the yellow?
Yeah, that's a child.
Yep.
So
That's ridiculous, man.
Now, mind you, children do watch the Olympics. So
It's pitiful.
Wasn't the dude in the black, like, didn't they have a picture with one of his balls hanging out right by that child?
I heard something along the lines of that, man. I didn't
Say
locate
what?
the picture, but I heard something about a picture
I mean-
floating around. I'm not sure if it was this one in particular. Let me just make sure.
that's why I don't watch this type of shit, man.
Okay, yeah, we good up here. I want to make sure I preview the picture before put it up there. But yeah, so it's a lot of controversy surrounding this. I'll let you guys be the deciding factor on your perspective on what it looks like to you. Everybody said they resemble Jesus at the table here that you see at the bottom.
I mean, you can see by how they put the thing behind the head that's what it's intended to do. Because traditionally, when you see paintings of Jesus, there's that orb behind the head with the rays of sunlight.
Mhm.
So it seems like it's strategically put there, right behind her head, like how a Da Vinci painting would be.
Mhm.
Well, no,
Yeah, just like a candelabra.
I think that's a headpiece. Like that's actually on her head.
Oh, that's on her head. Okay.
Yeah.
Strange. Okay.
All right. Well, they did issue a apology to the Christians. So I'm gonna go ahead and play that.
What is this one? Physical condition.
To the gender parity subject, one is not. So I think
and clearly there was never an intention to show disrespect to any religious group. On the contrary, I think that Thomas Joly really tried to really intend to celebrate community tolerance. That was his word yesterday. And looking at the result of the polls that we shared, we believe that this ambition was achieved. If people have taken any offense, we are of course really sorry.
Blocking of the videos from the organizer side, there've been some reports on blocking.
It was a ceremony like no other, and those are games like no other. I think that our hosts, it's easy for me to say, and we should all be grateful and thankful, they have put together a vision for these games, which is unprecedented. It's an incredible vision for games. We're trying to showcase that in the best possible way.
Justement, de choses peut-être qui n'ont pas été, que vous aviez prévues dans l'équipe, qui n'ont pas été
La partie philosophique, c'est, je voudrais savoir comment vous voyez...
Ma volonté n'est pas d'être subversif, ni de me moquer, ni de choquer. Ma volonté est simplement de dire que nous sommes ce grand nous et que hier soir, c'était des idées républicaines, c'était des idées d'inclusion, c'était des idées de bienveillance, de générosité, des idées de solidarité, bref, de ce que je crois nous avons follement besoin.
Idea all along, or did it come together quite recently? What you can tell us?
Mais notre intention n'a jamais été d'être impertinent ou d'être subversif, comme je l'ai dit tout à l'heure. Notre idée, c'est simplement que oui, dans cette grande diversité, il y a besoin d'être conjointement... nous avons en tout cas voulu nous conjointement inclure tout le monde. Voilà. En France, la création artistique est libre. C'est le premier article de la loi sur la liberté de création. J'en profite comme d'autres libertés en France, dans ce pays. On a la chance de ça. Il n'y avait pas de volonté pour moi de passer de messages plus, militants. C'était simplement des messages républicains. En France, on a le droit de s'aimer comme on veut, avec qui on veut. En France, on a le droit de croire ou de ne pas croire. En France, on a le droit, on a beaucoup de droits, voilà. Et c'était l'idée de faire transparaître ces valeurs-là à travers la cérémonie. Mais
vous aviez prévu dans l'équipe qui n'ont pas été réalisées, ou des choses qui ont été justement ajustées à la dernière minute?
Now you guys get the picture. It's no big deal, man. I just wanted to make sure everybody felt included and everybody's really respected. Look at you guys' thoughts about that, man. They apologized, right? They said it wasn't the way you guys, and it wasn't the way that it looked, but no need to panic. We apologize. We just wanted to make sure everybody was included. It didn't reference anything. It wasn't anything against the Christians. So what do you guys' thoughts about that?
Man, they would not have done that towards the Muslims. I know that for a fact. They wouldn't have played with that at all. So I get it. It's a freedom of speech thing, but the blatant disrespect, be it if you are religious or you're not, that's just something that you don't mock, in my opinion. So me personally, I don't support that shit. If you can love who you love, do whatever you wish, that's on you. Whatever you do inside your house, that's on you. However you live your life, cool. But to go to that extreme to make a mockery, that's off count. That shouldn't be accepted at all.
All right. Go ahead, Cloud Jones. How you feel about it?
I think it was intentional for a lot of reasons. For one, the Olympics is not about inclusion. It's never been about inclusion. The Olympics is a competition. The Olympics is about who's the best. It's literally about exclusivity, and the word's not coming to me right now, but that's the entire. It's elitist. That's the whole purpose of. So that whole idea doesn't make sense. I feel more so these words that they use are there to like subvert people's attention, to say things like inclusion and tolerance. I think they intentionally juxtapose those words against Christian ideals to subconsciously present the message that Christianity isn't those things. It's not tolerant. And so in order for us to show tolerance, we have to send somewhat of an LGBTQ message. But none of those people represented what the Olympics stand for, which is physical excellence. Like none of those people were athletes. The woman in the middle was actually overweight. So it's like, there's no way to really justify the ceremony, because the ceremony doesn't have anything to do with sports. It has nothing to do with physical excellence and achievement. It has nothing to do with competition. I mean, I don't really see how they kind of justify it. And then it's like, to say that it wasn't intentional. I mean, it's clearly the Last Supper. I mean, anybody with a brain, I mean, first off, all of the people who are involved in these things like the Olympics, they have common sense. Like, they understand art, they understand culture. And like Viz said, they wouldn't do this with the Muslim culture. You don't see them doing it with Buddhist culture. You don't see them doing it with any culture except specifically Christian culture. And this is not the first time that we've seen this at this type of event. Personally, I avoid events, these type of celebrations, the award shows, the Met galas, all of it. To me, they all represent a certain type of brainwashing, and I find that they do certain type of rituals in front of people. And I find that you'll find that the people who consume a lot of these specific types of content, they tend to be very plugged into a liberal way of thinking. It seems to be almost synonymous. So I just find that, and of course, we all know that the liberal side is very tolerant and very inclusive and very about, everybody being included. So overall, I think they're being disingenuous. Maybe what they really mean to say is they didn't intend people to notice, and they didn't intend there to be a backlash. I think they just wanted to slip some shit in there like they usually do, like how they have everybody dressed in red, doing little devil ceremonies, standing in 5-point stars and all that. They usually do that stuff, but people don't notice that because it's a little darker. So when they do it with something people are familiar with, people happen to notice this time, and they said something, and they said, you know what? This is an international thing. We can't play this game internationally. I think they're used to playing it in like America, but this on an international level, this could cause problems. So I think that's why they said something. That's my take.
All right, go ahead, Marcus.
Can you put the picture up real quick? So what stands out to me is how can they be in Africa and all of them people don't have no melanin? That's crazy to me. And then I don't see no hair of wool or skin of bronze anywhere in this picture. And then the top, that's just gay at the top. But the bottom is a propaganda machine that's been running for a long time. And I think it's completely wrong. And it's disrespectful to Christians. So yeah, that's my opinion.
All right, go ahead, Trev.
Yeah, so I mean, you got to blame Thomas Jolly for this. He's the one who is the creative director. He came up with this idea. You also got to blame the people who were involved in the situation. One thing is clear is that he and whoever co-signed that was trying to make a statement. So then that begs the question, what the hell were you trying to tell us? What message are you trying to convey? What is it that you want to tell us? Because there was a lot of energy put into that. That wasn't just slapped together. They really, even though it was not for my taste at all, it was carefully orchestrated. You could tell they put a lot of energy into it. So what is it you're trying to do? That's the question. What is it that you really are trying to do? One thing that I feel bad for is that, there's people who are saying they're protesting it, and there are people. I don't know what the ratings are. I haven't seen any information on it just yet, but the athletes are going to suffer. They work their whole lives to go ahead and get into this. It's extremely difficult to make it to that elite level to where you can represent your country, and for it to be overshadowed by some nonsense because someone selfishly wanted to make a statement for whatever reason is horrible. I don't think they should have did that. I understand creativity, and I don't have anything against people who live that lifestyle. That's fine. There's nothing wrong with that lifestyle for me in my life, right? I keep it away from me. I keep it away from my children. But like, I want my children to be able to watch the Olympics. My son runs track, and I would hope that he could one day, do that. And it's like, damn, now I have to explain this to them. It causes great confusion. There's too many children that are watching it, and there's a lot of adult activity going on. In the very beginning is a scene that you probably couldn't publish on tonight's show, where it was like, some men doing some things to each other. It was like 3 of them all together, like kissing up and all of that stuff. And it's extremely inappropriate, and it was unnecessary. There was no reason for them to do that. Now, even if, let's just say they had some confusion with the gender, whatever, but do you have to have acts on TV for children to see? Do you think we should really be doing that? Of course not. That's not what children should witness. That's not something that I feel like explaining to them, like, okay, well, because I can't just let them watch it. I have to give them context, and I have to tell them, no, this ain't it. And when things are represented on television for people to see, everyone to see, everyone thinks it's okay. But it's not okay. They were doing too much. And the religion side of it is another story. Christians are used to being bullied. I'm surprised that anything was even made of it. And to be honest with you, if it didn't have all those sexual innuendos, and it was just a standalone disrespect to Christianity and didn't upset so many people for the other reason, I don't think it would have gotten any attention at all, because people constantly disrespect Christianity. You see people with upside down crosses and all kind of nonsense that would never happen like Viz brought up before, to any other religion. They don't play with other religions like that. They get canceled for playing with other religions like that. So I don't think that Christians should be disrespected in that manner either. And I'm glad that something was made of it and they had to apologize. And I hope that we never see a display like this ever again on the Olympics, because it's terrible. And I'm glad it got poor feedback, because it's well deserved. They were doing way too much, in my opinion, and I hope I never witness nothing like that on a major event ever again. I'll leave it there for now.
All right. Go ahead, Kenny P.
Yeah. This is just another page in them pushing that agenda. They wish to eventually have it normalized like it's commonplace, and I think it's the last of us trying to hold on to what we consider normalcy within this world. It's nothing about that, abstract or not, like you would go into a museum and find that appealing to the eye or thought-provoking in a positive way. I could look at that 1,000 times and I'd be like, WTF? What were you trying to do here? And was this the stage for it? For you to also try to push your agenda? Bad enough we have it at work with the code of conduct. Bad enough we have it in laws. Bad enough, I'm going to say it. You got your cousin jumping double dutch and braiding dolly hair in front of you. Ask you if you want to play. Man, get your sweet.
I know artists be wanting to evoke emotions and stuff. I think we just in an era where infamy trumps all sometimes. People they want to get you to speak about what they're doing. Like, I think he did that 100% on purpose to evoke this type of emotion, because without it just would have been a scene. Now he gets to have a moment. And we kind of reward people by giving them that type of attention. I mean, he could at least took the kid out of there. That's the other thing. Like that whole people pushing for minor attracted person to be recognized in the DSM-5 as an actual health condition, so they can normalize, being attracted to children. That shit is sick. And I heard them make the argument that at one point in time, homosexuality was as listed as a mental condition. Like, things move in waves. You get it addressed as in the DSM-5 or whatever as a condition, and then you can move to making it normal. That shit is sick. That shit is really sick. That shit is really, really sick.